Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, the channel where we go through the good and bad of everything nerdy to make sure you spend your time on the best of the best. In today's video, I'll be doing a review of Children of Morta, so let's get into it. So first thing, this game is pretty cool. It's an indie game and it is basically a twin stick shooter mixed with a dungeon crawler. And so what's neat too, it's also a roguelike game, so it's constantly evolving. Every time you go into a dungeon, it's randomly generated. And then also it really has kind of the feel of like a Gauntlet type game or like a Gauntlet Legends, if you ever played that back in the day. And so that was one of my favorite games growing up. And so I really enjoy this top-down view where you're running through the dungeons and going through the levels and fighting the bosses. And so basically the story itself follows the Bergsons, and basically they are an ancient family that kind of goes and defeats evil, right? And so the land is being corrupted and destroyed, villagers are dying, darkness is kind of consuming the world, monsters are spawning and corrupting everything. And this family has, through the generations, fought this evil to try and defeat it. And so as you'll play through the story, you kind of learn some intricacies of why this is happening and how typically the family normally stops it. You know, are you going to follow that path, or are you going to change destiny as you go through the story? And so it's pretty cool as you play. Little bits and pieces are unlocked of the story, and it's pretty engaging with that as well. Another neat thing with this is that, again, it's a dungeon crawler. So basically, you have all these different characters you can choose from, but then each one has its own unique set of abilities, skill sets, kind of even regular attacks, secondary attacks. And so that's really neat to see too, where again, kind of past games like this, you maybe have one or two different characters, but they play virtually the exact same, and you kind of just go through the dungeons. Where in this, each one has its own unique abilities, skill set, skill tree that you can level up. So that's really cool. Now, there's a bunch of characters to choose from. Now, on top of this, as you're playing through, you actually are going to earn money that you can spend kind of in the shop, in the workshop, upgrading your characters. But what's neat with this is when you upgrade characters in this fashion, it actually applies to all of the Bergsons, all of the family members across the board. So as you continue to play, you're going to unlock new characters that you can play as, but then it's not really like they're starting from scratch. They're on level 0, but if you've got any type of stat boost or anything like that, they're going to level up as well. Now, on top of that, what's pretty cool is that as you level up individual characters, you'll reach kind of different thresholds and different ranks. And when you hit that level, you actually unlock boosts and, new abilities that apply to all the family members across the family. So that's pretty cool as well, where again, you might start off with one character, switch to a different one, try out their abilities. And I think that adds kind of to the replayability to the game, because you could try different characters out. When you beat it, you unlock a new game plus. So there's a lot to this. On top of it, what's neat is that it also has a 2-player mode. So if you're going through dungeon crawling, you can actually do that with a friend locally. So that's really awesome. A lot of games, again, don't necessarily have that. So what's cool, again, is you can do this, and then it's going to kind of have that Gauntlet-like feel. It's not 4 players, for example, but 2 players is still better than nothing. So I like that aspect with it. Again, as you play through, it's randomly generated, so it keeps things fresh as you go through these dungeons. And then as well as there's boss fights. So those pretty much stay the same. Once you hit the end of the level, you'll have a couple dungeons you'll go through and then reach a boss. Those all stay the same, but the order of the dungeons, you're going to find different secrets, kind of hidden storyline elements that you can plug into as you find them hidden throughout the dungeon. And again, it's really random every time you go through, so you never know what you're going to discover. So I think that ups the replay value as well with this game, and the fun element, because you're never going to necessarily get sick of it, even though some aspects are somewhat repetitive, because it's randomly generated. You could play with a different character. It again kind of keeps things interesting as you play. Now again, what I like with this game too that's kind of neat is that it has kind of different button combinations that you can use. So it can function like a twin stick shooter where you're using both the joysticks. One's to attack, again, one is to move around. But what's neat is that some characters have like distance attacks, some of them are more close up and melee attacks. And then you can also use like the buttons to attack as well. So you can play as a twin stick shooter, or you can kind of play more of a traditional, button smasher as you're going through and destroying enemies as well. So I kind of like that, but I prefer to play with the twin stick shooter version. It's a little bit quicker to, move your character around as you go. But that was kind of a neat twist in the game that you could do kind of either way as you play with it as well. But again, guys, let me know in the comments below if you've played this game, if you enjoy this, if there's other games out there like this that I should check out. Definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out here. If you enjoyed the video as well, smash that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you'd like to help us support the channel, pick out videos, help us get out content faster and more, consider becoming a patron of ours over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. And if you'd like to plug into our live streams and Let's Plays we do on the channel from time to time, you can follow us over on Twitch at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Twitch. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.